Hello and welcome to week 2 of this Spanish class, online Spanish class. This is the first video for the week and we're going to be going over some review. Tomorrow you'll receive another video, and the day after that as well you should receive 2 videos. So try to pace yourself throughout the week. Any homework or anything we have at the end of each of these videos will be due the same Sunday evening, Monday morning of the following week. So if you can get that in, great. Again, just so I get a chance to look over some of your materials, and then within a day or two I should be able to reply and give you some feedback on some of the work that you've done. The first video of each week for this introductory course, I'm going to be at least taking 5 to 10 minutes just to do a little bit of review from the previous week. Most studies show that you need to see something at least 15 to 20 times before it really starts to set into memory. So hopefully between seeing things a few times during the week last week, plus seeing some review this week, and a little bit more throughout the class as we build on things, some of these concepts are really going to start to settle in. So let's look at greetings real quick. Just as a quick review, we discussed how to greet people, introduce yourself, respond, just basic stuff, introductory level stuff. So I'm going to have a few quick interactions that I'm going to go through. They're just 4-line interactions. I'd like you to listen carefully and see what you're able to pick out and what you're able to understand. And then afterwards I'll go over them in English real quick. So this is interaction number 1. Hola. Oh, hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú, cómo te va? Más o menos. So now that was a little bit faster, but if you need to watch the video again, when you watch it again, you can go through that again, but try to pick out stuff. We'll go through it in a second. This is interaction number 2. Hola, bienvenido. ¿Cómo se llama usted? Yo me llamo Francisco. ¿Y usted cómo se llama? Yo me llamo Margarita. Mucho gusto. Igualmente. So now let's see them in English real quick. The initial interaction, again, you should have that sheet out in front of you. I neglected to mention at the beginning of the video, but you should have the sheet out in front of you for a review of week 1. I started out, hola, ¿cómo estás? Or hola, hello. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hello, how are you? Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú, cómo te va? Very well, thank you. And you, how's it going? Más o menos, more or less, like kind of so-so. Interaction number 2, and this would be one, again, if you have somebody coming into your office for the first time. Hola, bienvenido. ¿Cómo se llama usted? Hello, welcome. What's your name? Yo me llamo Francisco. ¿Y usted cómo se llama? My name, or I call myself, my name is Francisco. And you? What's your name? Yo me llamo Margarita. I call myself, or my name is Margarita. Mucho gusto. Nice to meet you. Igualmente, which wasn't necessarily on your sheet, but that would be a general way to reply. If somebody says mucho gusto, like nice to meet you, you can say igualmente, which means kind of back at you. So now that we've seen them in English, again, that was just a quick practice of some of the greeting pieces. You can use that to build off of when you're at work or when you're in class or even when you're at home. Think of some other ways that you greet people and try to work on building off of that with different ways that you interact. Most people have a common something that they say every time when people come in. So try to work on learning how to say that in Spanish and look up a few general responses that you would receive, or we can discuss them as well here for class. We also discussed adjectives. Those are words that we use to describe nouns in particular, is what we're focusing on. Some of the common ones, there was a big list that you practiced last week. Alto, which means tall. Bajo, which means short. Inteligente, which means intelligent or smart. Difícil, difficult. Fácil, easy. Viejo, old. Nuevo, new. So with those descriptors, those adjectives, there were 3 important rules to remember. Adjective order is generally the opposite that it is in English. So whereas we say the White House, they say the house white. And they'll put the noun first and then they'll describe it after. Okay, this is a green shirt that I have on right now. In Spanish, they would say the shirt green. La camisa verde. So the order is backwards. With adjectives, rule number 2, with adjectives that end in O, you need to match gender and change it to an A if the noun is feminine. Now, I want to reiterate, and I cannot stress this enough. I'm introducing this idea to you so that you're aware of it. Maybe you try to practice it here and there, but don't stress out about matching things up. In the beginning, just work on getting it out, as rough as it sounds, just because you need that practice. You need to learn the adjectives before you can start to apply this. But as you see things, this is a little bit more of an advanced paced class, so we teach things on the fly, and then you kind of practice them as we go. So if you have something, for example, la camisa, my shirt, it's feminine. So anything that I use to describe my shirt, if it ends in an O, then I need to make sure that I change it to an A. A good example of that would be corto. Corto means short with regards to length or height in certain situations. Not so much with people, but with inanimate objects. So if I wanted to say that my shirt is short, for whatever reason, it doesn't go down as far as it should, I can say la camisa corta. Now the adjective is corto, but because la camisa is feminine, it's la camisa corta. And my shirt being feminine has nothing to do with the fact that it's girly or anything like that. It doesn't matter what color it is. It's just la camisa, the word la camisa, the noun, is feminine. Always will be, as it doesn't matter. The third rule that we're working with adjectives is you need to add an S or an ES to the end if it is plural. So you have to match it up with the plural as well. So I said la camisa verde, the green shirt. If I had multiple green shirts, I would say las camisas verdes, and I gotta add an S to everything, or an ES. So it comes with some practice, but that's another thing to be aware of. You had a short video, kind of more of a fun video, on days of the week and months. The days of the week are domingo, lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado. All days of the week, Sunday through Saturday. The months of the year: enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre. Vast majority of them look quite a bit like their English counterparts, except for January. Enero is just kind of an oddball. But so names that you've seen, like Julio, the name means July. Agosto means August. So some of those things are names, some other things that you've seen, but they match up pretty well. Now, when you want to talk about a date, and this is the last thing we're going to talk about today as a review, I gave you an example down at the bottom of the sheet. Today is blank, the blank of blank. So when you're talking about a date, and you want to say today is Tuesday, the 23rd of January, for example, you would say hoy es martes el 23 de enero. Now that's going to be part of the worksheet that I'm going to have you work on, is working on the days. So when they describe a day, whatever it is, they'll mention the day of the week, just like we do in English if you're describing it the long version. So the Tuesday, the Wednesday, the Thursday, whatever. They'll say the, and the easy thing about Spanish is that besides the first of the month is el primero, the first. Everything after that, they just say the number. So they say, and so we say the 1st of January. They'll say el primero de enero, the 1st of January. But when we get to the 2nd of January, they just say the 2 of January, the 3 of January, the 4 of January. So if you start to work on your Spanish numbers, and it's not something, even though this is an intro course, we don't focus on that a lot because there are a million resources out there, and I can send you some links if you'd like. There's lots of songs and different things you can work on by yourself to learn the numbers. But so you just have to say today is Tuesday, the 2 of January. Hoy es martes el 2 de enero. Okay? So I left those slots open. The first blank there is for the day of the week. The second blank is for the number so the day of the month, the number, the second, the third, the fourth, but just the straight number. And then the last slot there is for the month. So that's something you can practice with making appointments. And on the sheet, I left you some things to practice for that. So that is it for this review. You're going to get another video tomorrow, and then another video a day or two after that, with an additional video that's a little bit more entertaining. So I wish you the best, and we will see you next video.